Welcome. Today I will be paraphrasing, summarizing, and sharing for the April 10th Al-Anon readings in Courage to Change and a Little Time for Myself. We'll begin with the Serenity Prayer and 3 mindful breaths. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. I will take a minute to look this over. The question is, how have I shaped my own concept of a higher power? And the passage talks about a person who attends Al-Anon meetings who is an atheist. But someone told this person that many Al-Anon members consider their group to be their higher power, and this worked for this person. This idea worked for this person. Now this person believes that their higher power is the wisdom found in conference-approved literature and their meetings. The program and the members guide this person to change and improve. Today's reminder: it's such a relief to learn to trust the Al-Anon program. And so we can always have hope that we're not alone, we have our program. The quote is from Survival to Recovery. We're never alone with our meetings, friends, sponsor, and our higher power. How have I shaped my own concept of a higher power? It's really changed over the years, especially from when I was little, but I think it's stayed relatively similar the last few years. And I definitely think my higher power expresses itself through meetings, literature, Al-Anon friends, and many other ways in my daily life. But for me personally, my higher power is the connection of all living things. And that works for me at this point. But I love how this passage in particular is including everyone, even people who don't consider themselves religious. I don't consider myself religious at all. But people who are kind of deterred by the term God or higher power. I know at least a few people who have resisted getting more involved in Al-Anon because of that, and I try to explain that should not be a deterrent, because it doesn't have to be any particular thing. But I love how this passage really describes it perfectly. Your meeting can be your higher power. Your conference-approved literature can be your higher power. That's really, really well said. I like that page. I must admit, I pretty much like all of them. Oh, this page has a tab and a highlighted section. All right, I'm going to give it a look over. This is a fantastic page, mostly about step 8, listing those we have harmed. It's about our part, considering our part, maybe how we have harmed others. So this person is saying they had an exaggerated sense of responsibility. I remember thinking that everyone I ever interacted with needed to be on included in my step 8. And this person makes great examples. Well, what this person is saying is that people who were disappointed in them, this person thought that they needed to be that they needed to make amends to those people because they were disappointed. Give some examples, such as a parent who's unhappy with a partner that you've chosen, a family member who wants you to pay off their debts, your kids want you to let them stay out all night. But the most important part is that no one is responsible for someone else's unfulfilled desires. So when this person realized that, they took names off of their 8th step list, as did I personally. Today's reminder is the part that's completely highlighted for me. So, paraphrasing it, it says, I definitely can make amends to some people, but I must realize that sometimes what's right for me can be uncomfortable or unacceptable to others. But others' expectations are not my responsibility, unless I have created them, in which case I have some work to do to undo that. But conflict is a part of life. The quote is from In All Our Affairs. With step 8, we take responsibility for our actions and release ourselves from false burdens that we have placed on ourselves. I don't know if you heard that. That was a really loud car that drove by. The window is open for the first time this spring. Fantastic. It will only be able to stay open for a couple hours, and then I'll have to close it again. But it's happening. Spring is happening. It's so exciting. So this is a great reminder that things that may be right for me may be uncomfortable or even unacceptable to others. But other people's expectations are not my responsibility, unless I have created them by actions that I've taken in the past, in which case they need to be straightened out. I feel like I needed to do that with my family in certain situations. I think at first it was difficult, but I feel like we're in a pretty good place now. Everything else has changed too. We've all gotten older. People have gotten sick in the family. Just things have happened. So everything that used to be is kind of different now. And I guess with growth and maturity and better communication, the same things that I struggled with in the past, I don't struggle with now, which is progress, definite progress for sure. We'll close out with the serenity prayer and 3 mindful breaths. Here we go. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Thank you so much for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Sending you love. Take care.